all day, like until 11, 12 in the afternoon. It's just be playing over and over and over and over and over again. I didn't even know that several years later I would fall in love with the artist and the song independently, and even search for to know more about him, know more about his songs and everything, interesting things just about him. And while he was on Earth. Very popular in the 80s. Very popular, I can assure you. Michael Creedham, Willis Ortiz, Lorraine was Chris Okotie's younger sister. Remind me. I can't remember exactly now. The one who sang Love Medicine. Sorry. What's the title of that song now? I'm trying to remember. I'll find it and naturally I'll play it. You can trust me on that one. I'll find it. Yes, maybe much later on the show. But here we are today, mourning him. So we woke up to the story of the death of Chris Mba. It was Michael Odiong, the general manager of Premier Music, the label that Chris Mba was signed to, that shared the news today in a post. It was on Instagram that he shared it. He simply wrote, Premier Records expresses sadness on the death of one of its artists, Chris Mba. The management of Premier Records Limited has expressed sadness on the demise of one of its artists who passed on the 3rd of May 2023 after a long battle with heart issues. May his soul rest in peace. Veteran Nigerian pop musician. Chris Mba, life. I'm so overwhelmed. Emotions, actually. Citizen FM 93.7. Stay with me in about 4 minutes. We'll begin the trip around Nigeria. What's trending at this time? Interesting events today. Of course, stay with me on Chris Mba's matter. I'll be playing a lot of his songs too. So yes, Funky Situation would come up very soon. That's another one, very popular of his songs. Baby Don't Cry is popular, but Funky Situation is one that once you say Funky Situation, everybody says, oh yeah, I remember that person. Yes. I'll be giving you that in a bit. Anyway, as I said, in about oh my God, how time flies. In about 3 minutes, I will be taking a very, 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 very brisk walk around Nigeria through the headlines, what's trending at this time, and every other thing that you need to do and that you need to know. It has to be interesting. If not, I'm not talking about it here on Citizen FM 93.7. It is Super Citizen at Sunset, and I am Didi. Stay with me.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Shake it. Citizen FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7.
Particular number that's been trying to call me. I'm sorry. It was break time, so I couldn't take your call. You can call me again. I don't know if there's something particular you want to talk about. Is it Chris Mba? Is it stories I have not even, looked at yet? Please call me again. The number again is 0818-2222-205. But before that comes in, let's begin with stories making their rounds in Africa and, yes, Nigeria particularly. So I think we'll begin on a large scope and then zero it down to Nigeria. So there's this story. It's not the first of its kind. We hear these things every day. But then again, we also remember, I mean, when I give you the story, you'd relate to what I'm trying to say. I also remember times when we would hear things like, oh, there are considerations to, make this thing a little more liberal so that priests will not be mandated to say celibate for the rest of their lives so that they can go ahead and have wives and children. I mean, Catholic priests. We know that priests of other denominations are at liberty to marry and then have children, like Anglican priest, Methodist priest, and so on and so forth. But for the Catholic faith, it is not legal yet. But every now and again, you would hear stories of some Catholic priests who have children by women. Of course, men cannot have children. Somehow, we just hear the stories pop up every now and again. So the recent one now is reports from Rwanda. It's not just about the story of the man having children, or fathering a child. It's about how that the Pope himself has had to sack him. He's a 64-year-old clergyman from Rwanda. His name is Monyeshiaka. And he's been serving in northern France for close to 30 years. You'd put that length of time into this job, and somehow something would just stain your white. This is a really sad one. So, the Bishop of Yevres issued a communique that has been circulating online stating that Monyeshiaka is excluded from continuing to serve as a priest anywhere else and automatically loses clerical rights. He's no longer a priest. The thing is, of course, when you see this kind of information on the internet, you would raise a brow, take it with a pinch of salt, be like, oh no, we can't take everything we see online, hook, line, and sinker. We have to be sure that this is actually true. Nobody sat down in one room and made up the story. So the authenticity of the communique was confirmed by the office of the Diocese of Yevres to the BBC. And it was revealed that the decision was based on a papal decree. Monyeshiaka, who fled to France following the Rwandan genocide in 1994, has not commented on the decision. But of course, the Pope has passed his sentence on the matter and saying he cannot anymore be considered a serving priest. So in December 2021, he was suspended by his diocese after it was revealed that he had legally acknowledged fathering a 10-year-old child. He had served for 30 years. He has a 10-year-old child, so that means that he had served for about 20 years before this happened. Sad. Anyway, it was in 1992 that he was ordained priest, where he is accused of playing a role in the killing of hundreds of Tutsis who had fled to his church in the capital, Kigali, during the genocide. All right. But that was just accusation during the period. Courts in France cleared him of the genocide charges. So this is just new, fresh one. Doesn't have anything to do with the genocide situation at all. It's just fresh reports. And it just says very categorically that this guy, something has stained his white. He is no longer to be considered a priest in the Catholic faith. I just feel very sorry for him. I just want to confirm something. Is Mr. Lawrence still around? Because I'm not mentioning names. I just got a message now. Good evening. Who and who bully you? We, your fans, are ready to bully them back. I love this part. So I'll tell you the story. Thank you for the message. Destiny, is Mr. Lawrence still around? Please have him come in. I want to show him something. I'm not even calling names right now. I'm just saying, there's a message for you, Mr. Lawrence. So it's actually anti-bullying day. And I said it out, and then I recounted my experience earlier today. I didn't mention names, so truthfully, I did not say anything to anybody. So I now said, I think I experienced something like bullying earlier. I don't know why. Why is your chest swelling? He's here. I don't know why he doesn't want to say anything. Why don't you want to say anything? Okay, so I got this message. Who bully you? We're ready to bully them back. So I said, let me call you and tell you. Because I'm a good somebody. So that something will not just happen on the road now. You don't know where it came from. You understand? I just said, let me give you updates. That's it? No way! Mr. Lawrence just snitched on me now. He did it. Anyway, that's what happened. By the grace of God, people are around that can defend me. But yes, that happened. If you think he was the one who bullied me, I didn't say anything. That's entirely you. Moving on. Orange Juice Day. Yes, it is Orange Juice Day. If it was heat season, this day for makes sense. In this cold weather, chill juice and I have no business. Oh, chill juice and I have no business. Oh, I get it. I can imagine. But do you know that in some countries where it's really cold, people take really cold stuff as a way of making themselves not feel as cold as they would have if they didn't take cold stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Say in Russia, for instance, ice cream sells a lot. So I don't understand the math, but it does happen. So regardless of the weather, if you really would like to take a chilled bottle of or chilled orange juice, freshly squeezed juice, which I'm a fan of, by all means, do, right? By all means. Well, otherwise, you can take your tea and just sleep, okay? I have another. You should leave Mr. Lawrence alone, please. Leave Mr. Lawrence alone. Somebody just said, so you mean Mr. Lawrence walked into that studio and he did not say anything? He's not there, I beg. He's here now, or he was here, he's gone now. He came and just did sign language and left. I don't know what he was trying to say. I don't speak sign language yet, so at least I don't understand it yet. So yeah, he was here. He just stood, and when he went outside, I heard him say, she set me up, something like that, but he refused to talk inside the studio. He refused to talk to the mic. I don't know why. Maybe he's feeling guilty. But of course, I did not say he was the one that bullied me, please. I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble. So, I've been following the story for a bit from South Africa. Don't worry, I think I saw this story will be coming back to Nigeria. I've been following the story from South Africa. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I think it was last year. I took it, yes, among stories from around Africa, how that some women accused the South African police force of some of their officers raping them. But of course, it was not treated seriously. They were like, oh no, this man is just talking in the nonsense. Anyway, names have been released online. So there are faces to the names now. And the update is that the South African National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, has apologized. He has issued a public apology to the victims of the attack, where 8 women were raped in July in 2022. So the apology from the authorities follows the public release of personal information of the 8 women that included their names and their surnames and even their age and physical addresses. And the personal information of the victims were disclosed on the police WhatsApp group, which found its way to social media. Crazy stuff, right? I would think that they would even make more effort to protect the identity of rape victims. But then somehow it leaked on their WhatsApp group, and somehow someone in the group, who is definitely an officer, because I don't understand how you would enter WhatsApp group of police officers if you're not an officer yourself. Someone who's an officer definitely leaked those names, and they are now in public domain. Social media people have it now. So they are saying that they're regretting the disclosure of such personal information, and they're apologizing to the victims for the information breach and the hardship that it has caused on the people. But then again, at this point, what could an apology really do for the victims? Okay, let's come back to Nigeria. Nigeria, my beloved country. So if you've been following this e-Naira story since the CBN released it, there've been concerns. Of course, CBN has more than once, blown their horns, talked about how that, we're doing really great. In fact, the numbers are really increasing. People are embracing it and all of that. But what is news today is that the International Monetary Fund has cautioned about the unforeseeable consequences that could be brought about by the, digital currencies, the retail digital currencies by the Central Bank of Nigeria. It was the managing director of IMF, Kristalina Greve, who expressed her concern about the e-Naira currency. According to the IMF boss, he says the IMF considers retail CBDCs to have far more room for error than wholesale CBDCs. So the difference is this falls under the category of retail CBDCs. According to the IMF boss, if this were a wholesale CBDC, maybe she wouldn't be so concerned. This is what she said. She said, we think that wholesale CBDCs can be put in place with fairly little space for undesirable surprises, whereas little CBDCs completely transform the financial system in a way that we don't quite know what consequences it could bring. So by what she's saying, according to, by what she's saying, the position of the IMF is that people should be wary of the e-Naira. But again, you remember that during the launch, the governor of CBN stated that the e-Naira was presented after 4 years of research by the Apex Bank. So they've done their homework according to CBN governor. I need to add that. So the CBN defines the e-Naira as a digital currency denominated in Naira that serves as a medium of exchange, and is a store of value. In fact, the CBN governor claimed that 33 banks were successfully integrated into the e-Naira network, right? And then the Apex Bank means about 500 million naira for the currency's inauguration. So it's going to be a situation where this would have to just prove itself. e-Naira would just have to prove itself. Because if you put in 4 years of research before you launch a particular product, yes, this is a product from the CBN. If you put in 4 years of research, did your homework well, integrated about 33 banks, maybe we should not be so worried. But again, IMF, being who they are, IMF, some people would take this IMF part with, more seriousness and say, oh, it's IMF. I mean, if the warning is coming from IMF, maybe we should take it more seriously. But at the end of the day, I think we should just give our own, that's the CBN, the e-Naira, the product generally, an opportunity to prove itself. Okay? And you also remember that, I think it was earlier this week, was it this week or late last week? I can't remember when exactly, when the CBN governor disclosed that e-Naira transaction had hit about 1.4 million naira, right? And he even said that the advent of the coronavirus pandemic no doubt triggered rapid advancement in financial technology, leading to speedy digitization of money and of finance. So here we are, two positions. One feels, oh, we're making a lot of progress. We're making huge progress and we should not be worried. And here is IMF telling us that we should be careful. What shall we do? Take a break now. When I come back, more stories coming your way. It is Citizen FM 93.7 Super Citizen at Sunset. Stay with us.
Investigations, special reports, analysis, and breaking news. Premium Times, a leading multimedia news platform, brings to you every minute stories that helps you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals, and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts, and other interesting content for your delight. For timely update on politics, entertainment, sport and business, visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't miss out.
Omundem no munam ogendibo na biazuru unu obosi Saturday no obosi Sunday no wataka nelekere nke anọ ogendibo boge anyi ji anori ogigi na-ekene ezepụ na-eji akpọrịkọta ụbụbọ kabarụ na-esonyela anyị nke a bụ nke anyị ụmụnne m daalụnụ.
Citizen FM 93.7 News Round Nigeria right now, news roundup. So I'm just going to run through these headlines very quickly now. 5:47, that's what the time is, and I don't like how time just flies. End deadly unrest in Nasarawa and other places now. Reps urge federal government. Okay, so it's something that they can just end, right? So what has been stopping us? Why did dilly-dally? Okay. As captured on Vanguard, Wike is a fighter of corruption. That's according to President-elect Bola Tinubu. Reps bill to repeal NECO Act for efficiency. Okay, pardon me. Reps bill to repeal NECO Act for efficiency passes second reading. Yeah, that makes sense now. My trial is based on faceless petition. Ikoforiji, ex-Lagos speaker, speaks. Dave Umahi is the best choice for Senate presidency. That's in quote. So I think it's just important that who's speaking. Of course, it's going to be very subjective. This does not represent the opinion of a class or majority of people. Yeah, someone thinks that as it concerns Senate presidency, Dave Umahi is the best is the best person for the job, is the best choice for the job. Those in the camp of Osita would say otherwise. Those in the camp of Akpabio would say otherwise. Depends on where you are. So we can't wait to see how that pans out. I really can't wait to see who eventually becomes the president of the Senate. Oh, Polaris Bank excites customers. Okay, so this one is different. CP Musa assumes duty as Commissioner of Police, Kaduna Command. They have a new Commissioner of Police in Kaduna, and his name is CP Musa. APC ratifies suspension of Ken Namani, Oji Kalu, Onyama, and others. NABDA DG thinks he has the answer to the question why development has continued to elude Africa. Yeah, NABDA DG speaking. In case you don't know, NABDA is National Biotechnology Development Agency. National Biotechnology Development Agency, that's NABDA. Well, the DG, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, has said that the challenges facing Africa's development has continued to grow due to the fact that the continent is yet to fully leverage on the promising tools that have been provided by science. He didn't stop there. He said that Africa can grow. But for Africa to grow and overcome its contemporary challenges, the continent must fully leverage on the promising tools that have been provided by science. Okay, nice. But I think otherwise, but that's just me and my opinion, though. Yeah. Okay, so Professor Mustafa identified science myths and falsehood among notorious factors that are responsible for slowing the growth of science in Africa, and he's even maintained that adequate communication is the only remedy to pull Africa out of the menace. And I do hope that at some point we really do pull out Africa from the menace. Okay, more headlines. Military involvement inadequate to curb insurgency in the Northeast. That's an IT expert speaking. And to this story that I found very interesting, over 90% of private school teachers in the Southwest are not qualified. That's TRCN speaking. TRCN is a Teachers Registration Council. Chai. And to think that they're actually the teaching, the regulatory body for the teaching profession in Nigeria. They have done their research and they said that over 90% of private school teachers in the Southwest states are unqualified. Of course, when we say Southwest, we're talking about Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Oshun, Ondo, and Ekiti. So according to the registrar of the TRCN, Professor Josiah Ajiboye, he said the teachers are unqualified due to their lack of qualifications to enable them to register with the council. Okay? Reminds me of a headline. I didn't go through the story, so I can't say much about it. But a headline from one of the states in South Nigeria, where some people were found to be practicing law without going through law school, and they were not fired. They were simply told to go and get their law degrees. That's it. They just told them, go and make sure, no, not law degrees. Go and make sure that you go to law school. No fine, no nothing, no penalty, no nothing at all for them. They just told them to go and get the qualification that they need. Okay, oh my God. Quickly now, 2 more minutes I have here on News Roundup. Federal government earmarks 23.7 billion naira for Katsina airports and for other projects. Reps panels on PMS consumption and refineries lay reports. They have laid their reports. Reps revisit Buhari's request. They've approved 23.7 trillion naira extra budgetary spending. Chai. APC NWC fails to zone National Assembly leadership. Said, what do I have now? How I poached Tinubu for PDP. Wike speaks. My God, how time flies. Okay, let me see. This is me trying very hard to take as many stories as I can. Politicians are out to assassinate Ayade's character over tribunal case. An NGO speaks up. Perspectives, right? Matter of opinion and where you're standing. That's on that headline. Moving on. Military is investigating claims of bias against army commander in southern Nigeria. Veteran Nigerian pop musician Chris Mba dies. This is a story that has got me in my feelings today. Really sad. He's dead. Takes me to another one of his songs. I did promise I'll be playing Funky Situation. Yeah, I remember that. So here we go. I'll be back top of the hour to take the news at 6. Stay with us. This is Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7, and I am Didi.